I thought probably our execution, it was probably a lot about us. I thought our execution going inside 50 was a little bit we weren't composed with the footy. We kicked long or we miscued short passes going in. So we gave the opposition, I suppose, a lot of rebound with their +1 or their extra players. And I thought maybe around stoppages we didn't quite have it right as well, and we allowed them a little bit of freedom compared to what we've done with other teams in the past. So we closed up some space and we sort of addressed that inside 50 kick, and it really went quite well for us to hold the ball in and then to score.
What's the state of your group that you can adjust like that now and again? Whereas a couple of years ago, maybe you're sitting here and you'd say, well, no, we'd have to go back and work over this, that they're now doing it again.
I think that's the maturity of the group. I think the ability to change your thought process and adjust a lot quicker, I think it's really helped us. But today was really pleasing how we just ran the game out, and maybe to lose a player and then another player in the game, it was really encouraging that we stuck to our task and we got the job done.
So you're almost halfway through a year.
Yep.
Where do you think you're at?
There's no doubt we've improved. How far, I'm not sure. I think with the season, the way it's going to go and unfold, it's going to take a little bit of luck to keep your list on the field. But what we do have is a team back in Melbourne, the Northern Bullants, who played yesterday, and to have Henderson kick 5, Cruiser looking closer, Bauer having 28 possessions in his second game back, Houlihan 27. I think our depth at our football club is something very exciting, and we'll take maybe those players into next week if we need to. Not sure on, Jamison looks like he'll be right, not sure on weight just yet, so we'll assess that tomorrow. But our depth at our football club is something that, someone can fill that void and take up the slack.
What is it about Walker against the Crows and now against Port? Is that something that he's trying to make a point about trade week last year?
I'm not sure. I think Andrew's got a lot more confidence and I suppose more consistency in his performance. Maybe just settling him down to one position and allowing him to play there. Today he really helped us stay in the game when maybe we couldn't score, and he was the one shining light for us down forward that really got us going as a team.
Chris Yaron's really cranked his game up in terms of run.
Yep.
How have you gone about developing him to getting to that level of confidence to be able to consistently do that throughout the game?
I think it's from a fitness point of view, and I think the expectation on some of the kids coming into the AFL is pretty unfair. I think they expect them to carry a burden of being a top 10 or a top 20 or a first round and actually just come in and play from day one. Chris's, I suppose, fitness levels he had to work on over the last few years, but we knew the talent that Chris had, and we just had to be a little bit patient. Sometimes the competition's not patient in waiting for those kids to come on, and sometimes they can be unfairly scrutinised really heavily. And he's an enormous talent. Who knows how far he can go, but at the moment he's playing good, consistent footy for us, and he'll just keep working at that. But he's starting to find a real niche in our team and play really good football for us.
What did you say to the players at half-time? You seem to be getting beaten around the stoppages in the clearance work, and then it was completely turned around after half-time, where it was very decisive. Off the tap work, all the midfielders really got on top.
I thought Hampson played a really good part for us today with the clearance work, with getting his hands to the ball, and especially after half-time. I thought there's a little bit of selfishness in the group in the first half in some of those shots on goal, which were U-turns when we should have just given the handball and had easier shots on goal. So we addressed that. But I thought our application to the task just lifted up, and we changed a little bit around stoppages and some roles, but all in all I thought the players just, it was a real mindset to change.
Brett, you seem to have an opportunity to set up your season. What's the challenge from here?
For us to, it sounds like the old cliche about week by week, but dealing with different opposition week by week, it's about for us to maintain this consistency, and I suppose that's the maturity of the group. So we're not going to sort of look at 3 weeks ahead, 2 weeks. We're really looking at next week, and I know it sounds boring, and you've probably heard it from nearly every coach that sits in the winning position and things like that, but it's really true for us. It's about just sticking to the process and getting the job done in some certain areas of the game. And we talk about KPIs and that. We haven't missed our KPIs many times this year, and we've lost one game by a couple of points and drawn a game, and we lost one convincingly against Collingwood. So outside of the Collingwood one, we've hit a lot of KPIs at most weeks in every time we play.
So what happens if you now start getting tagged as a top 4 contender or a pace setter and all those sort of things?
We can't control what people say outside, and we haven't controlled that for the last couple of years, or the last 3 or 4 years that I've been coach. So we'll just challenge the group that who we're playing the next week and make sure that we stick to it. And I suppose me as a coach, I probably narrowed my focus a fair bit too, and that's probably helped the group narrow their focus as well. So we'll just keep that approach and just keep trudging on.
But a lot of coaches now do say it really is a week-to-week proposition. How even do you think the competition is now, particularly in the top 6?
Yeah, I think it's extremely even. I think if you think you can turn it on and flick a switch, there's the confidence that's built in a quarter with getting your hands on the footy and that, it's hard to stop opposition teams. So, our group are reminded, all the time about, good form and keeping that consistent. You must keep the momentum going. So just to think that you can flick a switch is very hard to do.
You mentioned Caruso before. Is he ready to go?
We'll have a look. I'll have a look at the tape, and he's played 50%, 75, and now 90 something. He played pretty well last week. Does he need another one? Not sure. We've got Warnock really close. We'll have to look at where weight sits as well. With is he going to miss a week? I'm not sure yet, but we'll assess that during the week. But it's great to see him get his hands on the ball. The boys love him. Even as a coach, you admire his work ethic on and off the field, like at training as well. So I'd love to put him in, but I'm not going to put him in when we don't think he's quite right, and we want to keep his momentum going when he does come in. We sort of learned a bit of a lesson with Jared last year, trying to rush him back, and then we sort of had to leave him out to get some confidence back. We'll just see how he goes going forward too.
You've shown that you've got the depth now in your midfield. How important is Caruso coming back to the forward line against some of those top teams in the competition?
Yeah, I think the combination of maybe Cruz forward and in the ruck will be really important. I think he can play midfield as well. I don't think he's just going to be, a forward pocket or full forward, and I think he can actually go and play ruck rover at times as well, because when he's in there, he just hunts the footy up, and he's just another big body in there. So I think he can do that, and I think we'll have to manipulate it to sort of fit the team, but also help him get into the game as well.
Brett, you've won in 4 different states this season now. What does that say, your state record, say about this group?
Pretty good. Yeah, if you've won in 4, didn't even know. But it's something that we've always, I suppose, early doors, year 1 when I took over, it was something about addressing our interstate record, and that's starting to get really favourable to us at the moment. But it's been really good to travel with the group. I think you look at a lot of teams that travel, you can really bond together, and I think that's been a big plus for our group. Great, thank you.